Before we begin, most of the figures in here you can get at bigbadtoystore.com. Just click the link in the description. And this is my top 10 Headsculpt from Hot Toys. And just reminding you, this is not top 10 figures, but in my opinion, Headsculpts that I personally do own. Obviously, I don't have every Hot Toys, but I've held, pretty much a big portion of it. And I kept the ones that I think are pretty much better in that category. And I'm starting off with number 10, and this is Bruce Willis from G.I. Joe Retaliation. The figure itself is okay, for when it came out, for the price that it did. But the head sculpt, I think it's undeniable that you can see Bruce Willis in this one. And at number 9, I'll show you Christopher Reeves. It's an older figure. It should be, a little bit dated now, but still, I think the head sculpt is pretty strong. You can clearly see Christopher Reeves in this picture. Even I think their paint applications is a lot better now. And his blue eyes, it's nice, but I think it's more realistic now when it comes to as far as Hot Toys applying their paint apps. But still, like I said, it would still crack my top 10 just because it's still holding its own. Even after all these years. And look at that, even the famous jawline and everything. Like I said, it's an older one, but it's still it's still pretty much up there. And he has the evil version who just have a 5 o'clock shadow and whatnot. And rounding off my number 8, it's Steve Rogers, and I'm just putting this head sculpt up because I think this is better as far as. And remind you, this is a newer figure too, and I didn't include in this, I guess, my top 10 the ones who has mask or something with makeup on. So this is purely head sculpt, and you can clearly see Chris Evans on this sculpt. It pretty much uses the same sculpt as the one on the strike suit or the 2-pack, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad sculpt or anything. I think it's excellent. I think it clearly resembles Chris Evans, and the best head sculpt as of now of Captain America, as him portraying it. The hair could be a little bit better, but like I said, overall, it's a newer figure, so it's up there when it comes to quality and all that stuff. And I'm pretty sure you can see the one on his left. This is Thor, the Dark World Thor. I currently have the Light Asgardian version, but they use the same sculpt even with the Light Asgardian or the sleeve version, so I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference. As you can see here, you can clearly see Hot Toys development from the first Thor, which I also had. If you want to check it out, it's on my archive of videos. The very first one, it looks pretty good. You can kind of see Hemsworth, but on this guy, it's clearly you can see Hemsworth right away. So you can see his blue eyes is different now from the Reeves blue eyes. You can see the quality that they improved upon. You can see some wrinkles and skin textures and whatnot. And the funny thing is, I actually find this head sculpt a lot better than the Avengers one, the Age of Ultron one. But I'm reserving my judgment until I have that in hand. That one has a closed mouth. Maybe a little bit better as far as posing is concerned, because him having his mouth open, kind of I wouldn't say restricted, but it's I wouldn't say distracting either, but it's I'd rather have something more neutral, And moving on to my next one, Henry Cavill from Man of Steel. This just came out. This is not only one of my top head sculpts ever, but I would say this is one of my top figures ever. Not because he came with so much accessories, but because of the price, and it went all the way down. I think it was last year for almost $160, $150 in Sideshow, and that's insane. Right now, I believe he's pretty much sold out on at least most of the retailers, the big retailers. But it baffles my mind and it hurts me that the Man of Steel line didn't really sell well. But all of their figures, in my opinion, are top notch, him included. He's a bit bigger than most Hot Toys, but like I said, I'm not reviewing the actual figure, but the head sculpt, undeniable. You can see Henry Cavill all the way. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna buy the new figure if it does come out, because this one's so good, and I think the the costume overall didn't change that much. So, but I don't know. I'm a Superman junkie, so I'm pretty much gonna get that as well. But as far as his is concerned, I wish Hot Toys came up with a the regular version, the Clark Kent. But maybe on the Batman versus Superman, we'll see one of those. Now, cracking up my top 5 now is Wolverine Days of Future Past. This guy, low in accessories, but like I said, not judging the figure here, but the actual sculpt, the best Wolverine to date. I've held pretty much all the Wolverines outside of the first one. I've had the Last Stand, but never really reviewed it. Not a big fan of it. They all resemble Jackman at some point. There's some features and whatnot. You can clearly see Wolverine in there, but this one by far is the best so far. He's a bit older on this sculpt, so you can see, but mutton chops, and it's not a goatee anymore, not a beard, unlike on the Wolverine, the other one with the samurai version. But I think that's pretty good as well, the samurai version. It's just not, 100% Hugh Jackman, but this one, they clearly nailed it. This is one of the newer releases, so I'll definitely put it on my top 5. And, my number 4, Jor-El. Man, love this figure. I got him for cheap. This is one of those figures where Sideshow was trying to get rid of, and it, like I said, it blows my mind. But look at that. Look at the puppy eyes of Russell Crowe. He's a bit chunkier on the Man of Steel, so you can kind of see, his cheeks are a little blown out there. But that's how he is now, You don't see the Gladiator Russell Crowe, but from the mold to everything, this is screaming Russell Crowe all the way down. And like I said, it's a nice looking head sculpt. There's nothing more that I can pinpoint that you can change to make him look a little bit better. There's some gray hair on his beard as well. The hair, maybe you can make it a little bit nicer, but overall, I'm really happy. I wish they would have made the armor version and used the same sculpt. I would have been fine with that, But I like the movie Man of Steel. A lot of people didn't. But for me, this is definitely one of Hot Toys' best when it comes to head sculpt, as you can clearly see from this picture. And let me remind you, this is all real time. I'm not getting this picture. As you can tell right now, I'm not getting this picture through the internet or something, just basing it off there, because as you know, I'm not online or on their prototype pictures. It's all professionally retouched. It's perfect lighting. This one isn't, so it's just my own perception here. And rounding up this is my top 3 now. We're getting the crunch time now. One of those figures that no one wanted, Mandarin. I don't really need to say much. As you can see here, the forehead, the skin texture, the beard, everything else in this head sculpt is amazing. The hair, the bun, the wrinkles on his eyes, the skinny face. It's Ben Kingsley all the way. And I like I said on my review, check it out too on the videos. This guy is still available mostly anywhere, and my good buddy Raphael is actually gonna snag this off my hand. I wish I could have kept him, but lack of space, and I gotta fund my reviews, man. So unfortunately I gotta get rid of him, but definitely one of Hot Toys' best. So you can see there, everything from the mold, even with glasses. There's some figures where it doesn't look as good, but this guy, even with glasses and even whatever it is that you put in him, he looks great at. So definitely kudos to Hot Toys for even though they made something good out of a shitty character, basically what I'm trying to say. And it's such a travesty that he's not getting the respect he deserves in the 1/6. My number 2, Lieutenant Gordon. Now I do like as much as I like the Man of Steel series, I'm a big fan of the Dark Knight trilogy, and Lieutenant Gordon was a gift from me by my wife, and it's awesome. I couldn't be any more happier. I don't know how much she paid for it though. I haven't reviewed this figure. I haven't gotten around it, but I know it's there's a new Commissioner Gordon, this Lieutenant Gordon, and they pretty much use the same sculpt, and it's not a bad thing. It's look at this guy. The reason I put him higher than Mandarin is because he's more versatile. He came with, he looks good without glasses, with the SWAT glasses, with the Commissioner glasses. He just looks great all in all, and he looks so good that he came out in 2011, I think, as a Toy Fair exclusive, and they're still using his head sculpt at 2015. So that tells you how great the head sculpt is, and I'm glad I have it in my collection. For those who doesn't have any Lieutenant Gordon, it is your time to pick up the Commissioner Gordon. It's a bit pricey though. It's around $420. But I think it's worth it, because if you buy this guy off of eBay, you're pretty much gonna pay close to that amount. So I would say get that one with the Bat Signal and Blake as well. And if you're going to, just make sure you click my link down below in the description. But yeah, like I said, one of the best head sculpt that I've seen, and I'm a bit partial. Now my number one, my top one. Oh, look at that. Did I mention that I'm kind of partial with Dark Knight? But you know what? You can't. If you have anything to say, just say it in the comments if you find my list to be not accurate. But I really do like Alfred. This is another figure. If you notice my top 4 outside of the Wolverine, I was gonna say top 5, but they're all not that popular. As you can see, look at those neck. I mean, and mostly they're older, because I think, in my opinion, it's a lot better to, I guess, sculpt or make a figure look good if they're older. So I just noticed from Jarrell, Mandarin, Commissioner Gordon, and Alfred, they're all older. You can even count the Wolverine, because he's a bit older there too. But this guy, look at his lips, and I'm not using any special retouching here. This is just normal light. Alfred all the way, man. You can see the lips, all the wrinkles there, the neck, his eyes, the hair. There's nothing that I can pinpoint that you have to change. Nothing at all. I think it's perfect. And I'm glad my buddy picked up the he sold his DX12 to get this set, and I would say that's the best decision you can ever make. If you are a Dark Knight fan, you gotta pick this one up. You have to, even if it's him and the Armory. You gotta include Alfred in your collection. I mean, look at this. I've seen a lot of Hot Toys, but I've never seen something that has this great of head sculpt. And it's amazing. It's just simply amazing, in my opinion. Look at that. Even though the outfit is kind of baggy, I don't mind that at all. But yeah, and he's still available too. Most of the figures in my review, maybe half of them are still available for not on the third market, not on eBay or something. Obviously, there's a lot of things on eBay, but this guy is still available. You can still get him. This guy, you have to get him on eBay for I guess a premium price by now. And Mandarin, you can have him for cheap. Running around 170, 150 if you can get one. Jarrell, you can do the same thing. Like I said, this is not the most popular figures, but in my opinion, they're the best head sculpt. It's still available. This guy, not really. This one is out of stock. He's the lightest Guardian, but if you go for the normal, he still is. This guy is. This one is not. You gotta go to eBay for this. And this guy might be. There you go. That's my list of top 10. So I hope you like my list. If you don't, or if you have any comments or suggestions, just hit me up on the comment section. So please click like or subscribe to my video. It really helps me a lot. Until next time.